If you want to take classes from a Cuban percussionist raised in the streets of Santiago playing rumba, I'm sorry to tell you that this is not your method. If you want to learn from a gypsy cajon player from Cádiz in the south of Spain, sorry but I can't help you there. But if you, like me, were not raised in a musical environment like Cuba or Andalusia, but still want to sound as good as the Cuban or the gypsy percussionist, you will need to do some extra work in order to save that big original disadvantage that you have with them. If that's your case, then I'm happy to say that you have in your hands a great tool to guide you towards your goal. Thanks for trusting in me, and welcome to this cajon method. I'm sure we are going to enjoy the journey together. Let's get started. This cajon method is intended to cover all the information needed from the very beginning stage to a very advanced level of mastery on the cajon, with plenty of detailed techniques, patterns, styles, tricks, and advanced concepts to improvise, clues to finally understand flamenco mysteries, many independent exercises for hands and feet, interesting demonstrations of how to develop your skills for bigger sets, considerations about how to comp on the cajon in many different professional situations, advanced techniques to really blow on your cajon, and many other things. An advanced player might want to skip the first few chapters, and a beginner might want to spend some time with the basic stuff first. But anyhow, I highly recommend this method for any player that, experienced or not, wants to take the cajon really to the limits of its expressive boundaries. Before any other consideration, have this in mind. It's very important to have fun with all this, which is easy because playing cajon is basically lots of fun. But if for any reason you eventually stop enjoying, analyze what happened and fix that before you continue. Having fun with something is the only way to really spend time doing it, and we need to spend lots of time with anything you want to get good at.
Everyone must stand alone. I hear you call my name, and it feels I fall.
I can start this method going directly to some hand techniques. I think it's crucial to invest a few minutes in explaining why playing cajon is much more than tapping some patterns on a box. The cajon is apparently a very simple instrument, but it might concentrate many big and abstract musical concepts in it. If you want to understand it, in order to play it right and make of it a really expressive communication tool, let me explain you some stuff that will make you love this instrument and play it in the correct approach. The biggest question for me when I chose to dedicate myself to the cajon is, what does a groove really need to work? And can I do that with this instrument? Are the musical and expressive capacities of this wooden box worth the effort to master it? After many years searching for answers to these questions, I realized many things, and sharing them with you is the purpose of this work. Surprisingly enough, all grooves have some abstract concepts in common. In fact, all grooves that work well in any corner of the world are basically the same thing. First, something that writes in a very clear pattern. Some pattern that works like an elastic glue for the groove. And second, a balance of high and low notes with a little more freedom, so they create movement, tension and release, but without losing stability. And that's it. That's all a groove needs. Let's see what I mean with a few examples. The drum kit is a good tool to show this, but this idea is much bigger than the kit. It's even bigger than music itself. All around us, there are things that have these same ingredients, something constant that rides over some kind of controlled balance of variable things. The existence of these basic but extremely important facts is essential for creating beauty and harmony, and in our parcel of percussion, that harmony is materialized in what we call groove. Okay, let's take these very abstract concepts to something more concrete. How do we take those generic principles of harmony and balance to percussion? What would be an element that rides, an element that makes repetition in percussion? For example, it could be a ride like this. There we have a repeated pattern. Is it a pattern? Yes. Is it beautiful? Does it create groove? Not really. Now let's take that element that would be giving tension and release to percussion. For example, this. Is it groovy? Not really. Is it beautiful? Hard to say. Let's put them together and let's see what happens. We have that, and let's put this. See, in my opinion, something magical happens. We go to another level. Now we have something that grooves. So in percussion, when we put together something that creates a pattern with something that has some bass and some high notes, then we have a groove. So as you can see, those big abstract concepts of harmony and balance apply, as in other fields of art, to percussion. And having them in mind makes a big difference. So, if we want to make something really groovy with the cajon, we better take into consideration these big concepts at all moments. Otherwise, the magic of groove won't really happen. Many people with great chops on their instruments don't know why music really doesn't come out of what they play. And that's the reason. They forgot what it takes to make a groove. Something that rides plus something that creates tension. So, can we do that with this instrument? Yes, we can. And that is the magic of this surprising wooden box.
Our words keep on lying. Why your people keep on dying? World keep on turning, 'cause it won't be slow. Tuve la suerte de empezar
In this chapter, we learned that rhythm is a very abstract concept, and to apply it to music, we have to respect the elements that make it work. Also, that the cajon is a very powerful tool, and we can make really great music with it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this chapter. You can find many other chapters of the global cajon method in my YouTube channel. Also in my website or Facebook, you can find the index to see all the chapters. See you around. Adios.